And Faltergody Park Naguel in Limerick this afternoon for the County Senior Football Championship final between Dromcollogher, Broadford and Newcastle West. Coming up now to 3:30, and we're just waiting for the two teams to arrive out in the field. And with me in the commentary position as usual is John Neenan of the old Forge Inn in Broadford. And John, a fantastic day here again in the Gaelic grounds, and it's an annual occasion for us at this stage.
Well, people laughed at me going back 5 years ago, and I said there was 11 county titles in this team. Today they're going for their third county title. We've already lost the final and have been beaten in a semi-final, and it's a great achievement for this Dromcollogher Broadford club, who are attempting with Captain Fantastic Tom McLaughlin to win their third Limerick County Senior Football Championship. And here comes Tom with the Dromcollogher Broadford team, and I hand you over to our commentator Mike McGovern.
Thanks, John. Yes, this Dromcollogher Broadford team now going for back-to-back county senior football championships, which hasn't been achieved since the early 90s, I think, when Clahan won back-to-back, but we'll have to look up our history on that one. But Thomas McLaughlin leading out his team of players, and I'll give you the Dromcollogher Broadford line out. In goals, Eamon Scollard. The full back line, Mikey Clancy, Tommy Stack and Michael Boyce. The half back line of Neil Conway, Tom McLaughlin and Declan O'Connor. At centre field, Dee O'Leary and Jason Stokes. Half forward line, Patrick Donnelly, Sean Buckley and Garrett Noonan. And the full forward line of Kieran Curtin, Michal Reedy and Raymond Lynch. As we wait for Newcastle, who have contested the finals in the last 12-13 years. And here come Newcastle West as they come to the field. Great support for Newcastle West here in the Gaelic grounds this afternoon. And I now will give you the Newcastle West line out. In goals is Joe Lee. The full back line is Tony Kelly, Sean Barrett and Carl Lenihan. Half back line, Damien O'Connell, Padraig Fitzgerald and Alan O'Connor. Centre field, John Lydon and Conor Fitzgerald. The half forward line of Shane Kelly, Stephen Kelly and Shay Lyons. And the full forward line of Declan Bruder, Pat Fitzgerald and Sean Cronin. And John, just as we're looking down in the field, conditions are very wet underfoot, as we saw in the minor game. Little or no wind blowing, possibly from left to right in the first half. And as we saw in the minor game, the miners found it very hard to keep their feet in the tricky conditions.
Well, the morning was very dumb and gloomy, and it looked as if we were going to have a terrible day, but thankfully the clouds have risen somewhat, and the setting is absolutely beautiful here in Limerick, but the conditions are a little slippery on the field and could easily cut up. We had a brilliant minor game in which Abbeyfield, Father Casey's overcame Ula. Things have started brightly for Dromcollogher Broadford. As earlier in the day, I'd like to congratulate C.J. Fitzpatrick, who won the All-Ireland Under-14 handball in, I think, in Clonmel today. A wonderful achievement, and I was talking to his father last night, and I think there may be a trial for a trip to America so coming up in the near future. Absolutely magnificent achievement. On today's game, Dromcollogher Broadford raging hot favourites. The ball is just about and we're just having the toss now at the moment. I don't know actually who won it. Dromcollogher Broadford raging hot favourites today, and favourites do fall. Some new faces on the Dromcollogher Broadford team from last year: Michael Boyce, who will still be a minor next year, Dee O'Leary playing at midfield. He has just come of age, and it's a real big daunting class for him. Start for him. The Dromcollogher Broadford team really starring at the moment, but of course the one thing we're afraid of is that number 11, Stephen Kelly from Newcastle West. Stephen, great footballer, can be a star at times, could score 3 goals in 3 minutes. Where will he start? In fact, my commentator here, Mike McGovern, thinks that he may very well go into full forward in an attempt to draw Tom Stack out the field. It's a big talking point. Where will he start? I doubt if he'll start on Tom McLaughlin. Tom, of course, the master, the captain for 3 cups. What an achievement it would be. And looking again at the Newcastle West team, we have the 37 or 38 or 39-year-old, or maybe he could be 40, Joe Lee in goals. Joe, a lot of experience, but I feel that Ray Lynch and Michal Reedy, that game against Monaleen, they were in top form. The other man I fear, I've spoken about him all the year, is John Lydon at midfield, a marvellous footballer. I've seen him playing soccer with the Desmond League, a real good player. And of course, you have the Padraig Fitzgerald at centre back, captain of the team, and then you have Conor Fitzgerald in midfield and Pat Fitzgerald. famous names from Newcastle West, and really good players. Shane Kelly, of course, number 10, could cause some harm. The only thing, looking down through the Newcastle West subs, are not that strong. And as I say, Dromcollogher, Broadford, the hottest of favourites. But then again, the last few years, Dromcollogher, Broadford always beat Newcastle West, but only always by a few points. Back to Mike.
Thanks indeed, John. As the pipe band down below us now, leading the two teams around Park Gael in Limerick, as the clouds come over the hills of Clare in the background there. You see Dennis Law Noonan down below us there now, out in the field, hoping to lead Dromcollogher Broadford along with Kevin O'Donnell, Jim Barry and Maurice McCarthy to that third county football title. As Tom McLaughlin leading his players, followed by Eamon Scollard. Eamon, the oldest member of the Dromcollogher Broadford team now at 33, even though I see John Bruder's name down in the substitutes bench. Rumour has it that John has actually retired from senior football, but had a great season with the junior A footballers, who narrowly lost out in the West semi-final. And behind Eamon I see a Blondie Mikey Clancy. I'm sure his brother Eddie, who was home from San Francisco, got married recently. I'd like to congratulate Eddie and Emer and Padraig, and they're above in County Down this afternoon listening to this game on the internet on the Live 95 FM with Mal Keaveney doing commentary just over the way from us. And full back is Tommy Stack behind Clancy. Tommy cornerback for the Limerick senior football team this year, who got to a Munster final, very unlucky to lose out to Kerry. And then behind Tommy is the young lad Michael Bice, who made his championship debut this year. A fantastic find, a great footballer, as John said, only 17 years of age, a minor again next year, and a great prospect for Dromcollogher, Broadford and Limerick in the future. And I see behind Michael Bice is Niall Conway, who got another fantastic point. And John, I suppose we'll never forget the 2 or 3 points he scored last year in the county final against the Tare.
That's very true, marvellous points. And of course we won't forget the points scored here in the county final from the half-back last year by Niall Conway. Spectacular points, and we saw another one against Monaleen in the semi-final this year. I'd be hoping for a couple of good points like that from Niall Conway this year.
Yeah, the strength of his game, John, is making them runs from the half-back position. And behind Niall is on Farbiog from Dromcollogher, Declan O'Connor, who's been an ever-present member of the Dromcollogher Broadford team and rarely plays a bad game, does Declan. Behind Declan, I think it's Dee O'Leary, who hails from the Vane Road in Broadford. Dee, his father, will be here watching with enthusiasm, as will his uncles. And behind Dee is on Far Laudon, Farmore, Jason Stokes, a school teacher in Ballincollig in County Cork. And behind Jason is Patrick Donnelly, who over the last few years has really got himself into fantastic shape, eager to make a name for himself in this year's County Senior Football Championship final. And then possibly the find of the last few years, Shawnee Buckley, then Garrett Noonan, and we see Kieran Curtin and the old head in the team, Micheál Reedy, and Raymond Lynch. It's a fantastic full forward line, John, of possibly Micheál Reedy, Ray Lynch and Shawnee Buckley. It's going to be very hard for the Newcastle West full back line to curtail them 3 lads.
Yes, indeed. You know, it was a real miracle last year that we beat a Tare so well, because a lot of our...
In respect of the memories of 2 former Gaels who died recently, Peter O'Dwyer of Clahan and John Doody of Newcastle West. Peter won 3 county senior football medals with Clahan, 69, 70 and 71. He represented the county at under 21 and senior level, and was a brother of Paddy, who was a former county senior football team manager. He was popularly known as Gilly. We also remember John Dooley, a member of the well-known Geordie family in Newcastle West, who died this weekend. Yesterday,
We're just having a minute silence now for some great Gaels of the past. I was just saying before we had the minute silence how some of our players were not playing at their best last year in the county final. In fact, Micheál Reedy was a pitiful state, looking for to get a game there in the last 5 or 10 minutes when the game was won against Tare, and thankfully he is back to full fitness. Now we'll have our on the in. And just last year we were missing the band, and it adds so much to the occasion, and it's nice to see them back here again this year.
Yes, indeed, John. Great to see the pipe band back here in the Gaelic grounds in Limerick this afternoon as the two teams now go into their huddle. Match was supposed to be getting underway at 3:30, but it's a little late. It's now just past 20-4 as the two teams, and it looks like Dromcollogher Broadford would possibly play against the wind, John, in the first half, so Newcastle want to build up a good score here.
Yes, I thought the wind was going from left to right, but you think it's going a little bit across the field. But whatever it is there to favour a team, it certainly will be favouring Newcastle West.
Yes, indeed, as we look down at the centre of the field, and it looks like Stokes and D. Leary are going to start in for the throwing, but the play, I think, from the Dromcollogher Broadford management is that Stokes will go in centre forward and Donnelly will come out centre field, possibly Kieran Cutton coming back to sweep behind Jason or Donnelly and O'Leary. And we just look to see where Stephen Kelly is starting, and Stephen Kelly started the centre forward. He's bringing Thomas McLaughlin straight out of the centre back position. He's playing as a kind of a third or second half outline as the game is underway, and John Lydon, who's been called up to the Limerick senior football team there by Liam Cans, is on the ball for Newcastle, and it's a free to Newcastle. Here to be taken down below us by Damien O'Connell. He's leaving it here to Lydon, a ball in there, but back there for Dromcollogher Broadford is Mikey Clancy, hand passing there to Donnelly. Donnelly, first touch evades him, so Newcastle West on the attack now. They look here for Stephen Kelly. This is his first touch on the ball. What will Kelly do? Will he run? Will he pass? He's gone on a solo run. He gives it out there to the number 15, Sean Cronin. Cronin is going on a solo, and a shot from Cronin, and that's his tail to the right, and it's gone wide. But a good start from Newcastle West. 30 seconds gone. Patrick Donnelly not fielding a proper ball there and giving the advantage back to Newcastle West. So it looks like Conor Fitzgerald is a free man out in the centre of the park at the moment, but now he's going on and to mark Patrick Donnelly as Eamon Scollard getting ready to take this kick out for Dromcollogher Broadford. Just a minute gone in this year's county senior football final here at Park Naguel in Limerick, and a good kick out from Eamon up there now towards D. Leary and Lydon. Broken there by Lydon, and it'll be that towards Stephen Kelly. He look inside to the full forward line. A dangerous ball in there now to Tommy Stack. Great play from Stack, but a bad clearance, and it breaks that to the number 13 for Newcastle. The number 13 being Declan Browder, the inter-county star a few years ago, and he's put Newcastle West into a lead of 1 point to no score. A good start for Newcastle, John.
Yes, a good start for Newcastle. Kelly has won a good couple of balls down in the field early on, but he lost him from the ball that slipped out of Pat Donnelly's hand.
Yes, indeed, John, a good start for Newcastle, just what they needed here in Park Naguel this afternoon. And as you said, Dromcollogher Broadford raging hard favourites to capture their third senior football county title here in Limerick this afternoon. Eamon Scollard getting ready to take the kick out. He look around the centre field for Stokes. He look for Donnelly. He look for Leary. He looks for D. Leary. Up goes Leary and up goes Lydon with the break of the ball. Garrett Noonan going down for it there with Patrick Donnelly. Good ball there now towards this captain of the team, Thomas McLaughlin. Great ball in there now in towards Reedy. Hadn't a great year last year, but a great pass to Reedy to Stokes. Inside there now towards Sean Buckley, but intercepted back there. It looked like Sean Barrett from Newcastle West. And Stephen Kelly now, the centre forward, back around the half back line. Kelly taught the hand, he rounds Donnelly as if he's not there. Kelly's still going, he's only one leg, left leg, great hand pass there to find Fitzgerald, the centre of the field. Ball inside there, but it's well intercepted. Back there by Michael Boyce, the corner back, and a heavy shoulder there. Newcastle West are really fired up for this match. A ball in there now towards Stack once again. The ball is breaking there now towards, is it Sean Cronin? He's going through, it's a shot, it's a goal! Is it a goal? It is indeed. The umpire has raised the green flag, and Newcastle West have got to go, but Eamon Scollard is saying that the ball was fisted to the net. And John, did you see what happened inside there?
Yes, he looked at it was fisted to the net, yeah. And the goal is being disallowed.
Yes, indeed, John, the goal has been disallowed. From this, it did look as though the ball was punched in it, but Stephen Kelly there, John, is just showing how dangerous he is.
Yeah, and the roller coaster states that the ball must be kicked to the net.
So the three-man full forward line for Dromcollogher Broadford is Buckley, Reedy and Lynch. Stokes looks as though he's centre forward in his own. Garrett Noonan is out here around centre field, and Kieran Cutton is playing as a third midfielder, but it's hard to see at the moment. But Eamon Scollard protesting that ball was punched to the net there by the Newcastle West forward, and indeed it was, and it's a free out to Eamon, so it's still 1 point to Newcastle and no score to Dromcollogher.
One would wonder if Scollard hadn't protested, would the goal have been allowed?
Yes, indeed, John. The referee, the umpires were quite adamant that it was a goal, but Newcastle West really have started brightly in 2004 Senior County Football Final. Newcastle West have been looked like a throw ball to Fitzgerald, the rugby player. He played rugby with Ireland, a great big strong man, and playing around the centre of the field there, but Drumcolor Broadford now with Garrett Noonan, taught the hand from Garrett, being closely attended to there by Sean Cronin, being pulled to the ground by Cronin. It'll be a free to Drumcolor Broadford to be taken by Tommy Stacken. Stephen Kelly is playing as a roaming centre forward. He's everywhere at the moment. Ball from McLaughlin in towards Stokes, well gathered by Stokes. He passes inside that towards Shawnee Buckley. Lynch has gone inside. Shawnee Buckley still going through. In towards Lynch, it's going to be a goal, and it's fisted to the right, and it's gone wide. John, a fantastic chance there for Drum Broadford and Ray Lynch.
A great chance. Shawnee Buckley was too slow in spotting Ray. He should have left that ball in, so not him.
Yes, indeed, John. Shawnee's second county final, and possibly should have released the ball. Ray was calling for it a lot earlier, but wasn't released, so Newcastle West still hold the advantage, and we said that the Newcastle full backline of Kelly, Barrett and Linehan are going to have their hands full with Buckley, Reedy and Lynch this afternoon here in Park na Gael in Limerick. Jolie, who won county senior football medals with Newcastle West in the years 87 and 92, the longest member of the Newcastle West team and the oldest member on the playing field this afternoon. There was a poor kick out there from, and there's a high ball in there, but well gathered by Lee. His experience telling there, been closely tended to there by Raymond Lynch. Fisted out. Newcastle West are all over the place back there and getting a lucky free, really. As a good catch under pressure there by the goalkeeper, Joe Lee. Quickly taken free there towards Damien O'Connell. O'Connell brilliantly blocked down there by Garrett Noonan. He has a second chance. O'Connell. Newcastle West trying to come out of defence here with it. O'Connell has it once again. He takes a heavy shoulder there, and it looks like Declan O'Connor has picked up a serious leg injury there, John, and looks bad news for Declan.
Yes, I didn't see what happened.
Yeah, it didn't seem an after ball incident, John. It just could be a pull muscle or anything, like, you know. But the referee, Joe Kennedy from Mungret, now going off to see the injury to Declan. And I think John, the plight from the Drum Broadford manager should be get the ball in fast, because the three inside and the full forward line are causing untold damage. Yeah,
the Drumcolor Broadford inside forwards are well in command, but the problem is to get that ball into them.
Yes, indeed, because at the moment, like Fitzgerald and Lydon are really winning the battle at midfield, and Cotton now has the job of marking Fitzgerald at the moment, as the physio Mary O'Keefe now just tends to Declan O'Connor just down below us. Stephen Kelly still marking Thomas McLaughlin, giving orders all over the field. As we said, great news just before the match when CJ Fitzpatrick of Broadford and Seamus O'Carroll of Kappa won the under-14 All-Ireland doubles title in Clonmel, and as well last night Siobhan Lehan of Broadford won the under-17 All-Ireland singles in a great game, I believe, below in Ballina in County Tipperary. So let's hope it's third time lucky for the Drumcolor Broadford Parish. In now towards Lynch. He never has a bad game for Drumcolor Broadford. Back there now towards Garrett Noonan, man of the match here last year in the Gelly grounds. Noonan going through on the 21. Shot from Noonan. It's high and it's over the bar. Great score for Drumcolor Broadford there. And Garrett Noonan is Ben Noonan and Liam Buckley are warming up just down below us, and a good score again, John, by Garrett.
A great score and good running, and Pat Donnelly there switched to play. I think it was Pat Donnelly, and he did a great point.
Yes, indeed, John. 1 point apiece. 5 minutes gone in the first half here in Park na Gael in Limerick. Thanks be to God, the rain has stayed away. The wind is not as high as we expected from last night's forecast. So Lee with the kick out, a better kick from Lee. He looked towards Lydon, but once again D. Larry is there for Drumcolor Broadford, and there's Conway. We were talking about his runs from half back, and great play there by Conway and Stokes. Lydon has it for Newcastle West. And we got to remember that Newcastle West are unbeaten in this year's championship, whereas Drumcolor Broadford did lose to a tie, as Thomas McLaughlin and Stephen Kelly just down below us. McLaughlin has it. Great play from McLaughlin. He's pushed to the back there by Stephen Kelly. And Declan O'Connor is getting involved in the fracas there where he shouldn't have got in at all, and now it's going to be Declan's going to get booked. The free is going to be lost, John, and that's stupid play from Declan O'Connor.
Absolutely pure stupid altogether. Even if he seriously injured Kelly to the walking papers, he might have been getting.
Yes, indeed, John. I mean, Drumcolor Broadford should be stick to what they can do, and that's play very neat and attractive football. And now Donnelly's gone down with an injury, and let's hope the injury to Donnelly isn't as severe as what we see at the moment, as Declan O'Connor seems to has got over his injury maybe. So now the linesman's going to throw in the ball. Stupid there from Declan O'Connor. Up goes D. Larry, and the ball breaks to Fitzgerald inside. Kelly's going inside. Good play from Fitzgerald. A shot from Fitzgerald. That looks good. It's a fantastic score from Conor Fitzgerald, John, and it all stemmed from the stupid mistake by Declan O'Connor.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely pure stupid mistake. You know, I never mind the man being sent off as long as he takes a man with him, but Declan wasn't going to be taking no man with him there.
Yes, indeed, John, that's stupid play. I'm sure Maurice McCarthy, the manager, won't be happy with Declan on that occasion. It was a free to Dromcollogher Broadford, and Declan upended Stephen Kelly, throw ball, and Conor Fitzgerald makes no mistake, puts the ball straight between the posts, and Newcastle West lead on a scoreline of 2-1, 6 minutes gone in the first half. Eamon Scotland with the kick out for Dromcollogher Broadford. Up there now towards Stephen Kelly, well gathered by Garrett Noonan. Garrett is fouled by Stephen Kelly, and it's going to be a free to Dromcollogher Broadford to be taken by Declan O'Connor. Newcastle West well fired up as Thomas McLaughlin getting ready to take this free for Dromcollogher Broadford. He looking inside for Stokes. Stokes being closely attended to there by Padraig Fitzgerald, the captain of the team for Newcastle West. Donnelly's there with Shay Lyons and John Lydon, both have Newcastle West been called up to the Limerick panel this year, along with Shawnee Buckley of Dromcollogher Broadford. Great play there from Donnelly once again. Newcastle West getting out of defence there now with John Lydon. Lydon will look for the high ball in there now over the head in towards Stack. It's dangerous inside, but great play once again from the Limerick cornerback and the Dromcollogher fullback Tommy Stack. The danger was well averted there as Kieran Curtin, the man who was born in Wicklow, lived in Clare, now playing his football in West Limerick with Dromcollogher Broadford, as Michal Reedy falls to the ground there, not picked up off the ground, says the referee Joe Kennedy. Michal Reedy twisting and turning, good ball in there now towards Lynch and Buckley. Buckley surely pushed in the back, it is, and it's going to be a free to Dromcollogher Broadford. And John, we need faster ball into that full forward line.
Yes, but you know, when that extra point there that Newcastle after getting, it's keeping the boost to Newcastle all the time, and certainly we're not in command of this game as much as we'd like.
No, John, I think our half back line is not on top at the moment, and definitely Niall Conway hasn't had much to do, but I mean, I think it's the midfield that Fitzgerald and Lydon really are winning the battle at the moment, so maybe the management will have to look into that. As Kelly is still staying centre forward, they're not moving in yet. Michal Reedy with his first chance to open his account in this year's County Senior Football Final. A shot from Reedy and a fantastic save from Joe Lee. That's two good saves from Joe Lee, and Michal probably thought he was off his line there, John.
It was an absolute fantastic save.
It was indeed, John, a fantastic save from Lee. Probably thought that Michal would tap that over the bar, but Michal had other ideas in his head.
To tell you the truth, I thought that Jolly would be one of the soft touches, which that save was a mighty save.
It was indeed, John, and I mean, his kick-outs mightn't be the best, but he has made one great ball, and that was a great save. But Garrett Noonan, we've seen Garrett put these points over the bar in Kilmallock, we've seen him put him over in Newcastle, we've seen him put him over in Abbeyfield, and can we see him put him over in the Gaelic grounds in Limerick? He has indeed. The umpires reach for the white flag, and the sides are level in the Gaelic grounds, coming up to 10 minutes gone, and a fantastic free from Garrett there, John.
Yeah, fantastic free, 2 points now from Garrett, and that really will settle him down. He came into his own in last year's county final in the second half, and he won man of the match. He's gone well, maybe he could repeat it this year.
Yes, Garrett Noonan, a man of great potential on the Limerick Under-21 team this year, along with Shawnee Buckley, the full forward for Dromcollogher Broadford, and Michael Boyce, who was possibly one of the best Limerick minors they had this year. So Dromcollogher Broadford keeping the conveyor belt full with plenty of talent as Joe Lee gets away with a bad kick out there yet again, and the referees deemed that Michal Reedy had gone within the 10 metres of the kick, and it's going to be a free to Newcastle West and Joe Lee. Joe Lee just opts to take this out of the hands instead of on the floor. Up there now towards John Lydon again, but there's Conway now for Dromcollogher Broadford to Kieran Curtin, well blocked down there, and it's going to be a line ball over the far side of the field to Dromcollogher Broadford and Kieran Curtin. Crowd in the region of maybe 1,200-1,300 people just before I came up after the mine again. I'll go down and have time to see has it increased, but as we go on with the play, back to here now towards the county man Stokes. Stokes with the shot, it looks good, it's a great effort from Stokes, and it's over the bar. A great score from Unfalada at Glenduff, Jason Stokes.
Yeah, good point from Jason. Jason, of course, could send one out over the line, over the in line, or could send it anywhere, but and when he's in front of the goals, he's least confident, but that was a marvellous point.
One of the best scores of the game so far, 10 minutes gone in the first half, and for the first time in the 2004 Senior Football Final here in Portaguel in Limerick, Dromcollogher Broadford take the lead on a scoreline of 3-2. So still no switches made. McLaughlin still on Kelly, Donnelly still on Fitzgerald, and D. O'Leary still on Lydon. So both managers happy at the moment that things are going according to plan. Fisted on there and the ball breaking out towards Stephen Kelly and Declan O'Connor. McLaughlin, great shoulder there from Stephen Kelly. Back there now towards Niall Conway. Conway's hand tripped by Kelly, and it's going to be a free to Dromcollogher Broadford. Donnelly takes it with the left leg up there now towards Micheál Reedy. Being closely tended there now by Tony Kelly of Newcastle West. He twists. Oh, it's not Tony Kelly, sorry, it's Carlin Henry already going through. And going for the 21. Shot from Reedy, and it's gone to the left and it's gone wide. His confidence, John, maybe not as high as what we thought it was at the start of the game.
Ah, well, he was prepared to have a go at it, and I've seen worse wides from better players.
Yes.
And there'll be no talk about it.
Yes.
Another thing I've seen noticed there, Mike, is that Stephen Kelly is committing an awful lot of fouls, and the referee don't seem to be penciling him into his little book at all.
Yes, indeed, John. That's 3 or 4 fouls by Stephen on the Dromcollogher Broadford players, and the referees, Joe Kenny from Rungard, has done nothing about it. So up towards the centre of the field, Lydon breaks it down there, but back there is D. O'Leary. D towards Garrett Noonan. He's got a point already. Garrett's going through fast to the ground. Ball still inside. Micheál Reedy's there. Garrett Noonan is there. The stalemate is going to be a free out. The referee's his hands up, but no. Newcastle West coming out of it. There with the fullback. Is it Sean Barrett? Newcastle West coming out of play. Great shoulder there from D. Leary towards Donnelly. Donnelly gets a heavy shoulder. Donnelly's on the left leg. He's going to look for a score. A shot from Donnelly, and that has tailed to the left and wide, John. And Ray Lynch was in a great position for a pass inside, John.
Yeah, you would nearly have done better all right if you passed the way, but of course sometimes these balls go over and more times they won't.
Dromcollogher Broadford now with 2 or 3 wides already in the first half, in possibly good scoring positions. So it's very tight here at Páirc na Gael in Limerick. Dromcollogher Broadford 3 points, Newcastle West 2 points. Coming up to 12.5 minutes gone in the first half. Just told there by my co-commentator that it's 15 minutes as the ball is intercepted by Garrett Noonan. Noonan back towards Donnelly. Buckley's outside. Donnelly over carries the ball, and that's stupid there again, John, from Patrick Donnelly. Shawnee Buckley was in a great position there for a score.
Yes, I mean, Patrick himself could have had to go for a point. And, you know, I felt if that score was got, that Dromcollogher Broadford had weathered the storm.
Shane Kelly for Newcastle West. Shane, I think, if I'm not mistaken, played football too with Limerick back in the mid-90s. Kelly's going through, and he's bounced the ball twice. Great defending there from Tom McLaughlin for Dromcollogher Broadford. 3 points to 2, Dromcollogher Broadford lead. McLaughlin, the captain of the team, he hails from Knocktush and Broadford, as does Shawnee Buckley, D. Leary, Niall Conway, and I don't know, Morris O'Connor there as well. We'll have to ask John Neenan in a minute. And Nike Clancy hasn't put a foot wrong so far in this county final. A great man for the big occasion, Clancy from John Paul's Terrace in Broadford. Back towards Clancy again, back to McLaughlin. Hand pass from McLaughlin, and Captain Fantastic is not having the greatest games at the moment. Donnelly's disgusted. Ball will break through there now towards the number 15, Sean Cronin. He's good for a goal, he's good for a point. He's good for a point in the Gaelic grounds in Newcastle, and the sides are level. And John, bad mistake from Captain Fantastic, as we call him.
Yes, and I was just going to sing his praises, because I think Stephen Kelly is after giving up the ghost. He has come out here now on Declan O'Connor. That Stephen have enough of Tom McLaughlin got.
Yes, indeed. Stephen with the hands on the hips already, and there's only 15 minutes gone in the first half. I'm sure Stephen won't want to get too many knocks from the big man from Knocktush, or he'll know he's been in a fair county final here this afternoon. As Eamon Scholar, the 33-year-old from Dromcollogher, Gardenfield, if I'm not mistaken, with the kick out up towards the middle of the field. The ball will break there now towards Shane Kelly, once again being closely attended there by that man they call Ginge from St. Joseph's Park in Dromcollogher. Can't do that. No, that's a free down to Dromcollogher Broadford. He hand passed the ball to himself, and it's going to be a free to Dromcollogher Broadford. Look at the room Garrett Noonan is in. He's oceans of space. Garrett Noonan going on to the 21. He's still going through. Taught a hand from Garrett. The shot from Noonan, and that's a woeful wide John there from Garrett Noonan.
Yes, the man came towards him as well. He pulled himself back a little bit, and it was a bad wide.
So these are both teams really not settling down well. A lot of nerves out there. Newcastle West going, I think it's their first title in 12 years, or their first county final appearance. Was last time they were here in the Gaelic ground was 12 years ago. And Dromcollogher Broadford aiming to get back-to-back county championships. They really have been the kingpins of senior football in Limerick since the year 2000. Have been either in the final or in the semi-final stages. The ball break out then out towards Donnelly. Donnelly on the left leg. He'll look, he'll shoot, he'll score. The man from St. Mary's Terrace in Broadford makes no mistake. And Dromcollogher Broadford go back in the lead yet again. Good score from Donnelly, John.
A great score, as I say, sometimes they go over, sometimes they don't.
Yes, indeed, that'll be a great boost to Patrick Donnelly's confidence. Conor Fitzgerald wasn't in within an ass's roar of him that occasion. We're up to 20 minutes gone now in the first half here in Park na Gael in Limerick. Dromcollogher Broadford lead on a scoreline of 4 points to 3. Must say the pitch is looking fantastic even after the minor final, which was won by Father Casey's against a very, very fancied Oola side. So no matter what happens here in the Gaelic grounds this afternoon, the senior and the county minor they'll be going back to the west of the county. Ball in towards the middle of the field. It's missed by Stokes, it's missed by Curtin. Newcastle West on the attack again. Up there now towards Clancy. That's his first mistake. Clancy's been robbed over there. There's a chance here for Newcastle. The ball is inside, but it's seen out of the hands of Eamon Scott, and it's gone agonisingly wide. And John, there's a lot of nerves out there at the moment, it looks like it.
Yes, bad mistake from Eamon Scott. He should have held on to that ball. It looked to me a very easy ball to hold. He must have taken his eye and look at the man at some stage or another.
Yes, but I suppose, John, we got to take into consideration too that the conditions are very, very slippery underfoot. A lot of rain in the last few days. And I suppose if players haven't got the right studs or the right gloves on, it could be very tricky out there this afternoon. As Eamon Scott with Declan Bruder had a chance there, as too did the full forward Pat Fitzgerald. Scott with the kick out yet again. It's a big difference between the two goalkeepers at the moment is the kick outs as the ball will break there. Stephen Kelly misses it on this occasion, and out comes Kieran Curtin of Dromcollogher Broadford. Up there now towards Micheál Reedy. He's always out in front, he's always looking for a ball. Gives the ball back to Stokes. Stokes is heading for the 21. He's heading for the 14. He's still going through, and Stokes over carries the ball, and it's going to be a free out. And Jason Stokes could find himself going off the par here, John, for hitting out of the fella.
Well, I don't know what the referee's going to do, but you see, he could pull the red card out of his hand, out of his pocket. And luckily enough, he's had to get away with a yellow, but sometime sooner, that referee could pull a red card.
Yes, indeed, John, and I always thought that an off-the-ball incident when he hit a man was a red card offence, but the referee, Joe Kearney, doing the right thing and letting this intriguing county final go ahead with 15 players aside, as Lee will look for Stephen Kelly out towards the middle of the field. Up goes McLaughlin, up goes Kelly. The ball will break down. Now Conor Fitz, he's going through. He's acres of space. He's on for the 21. A shot from Fitz, and that's a woeful wide there from Conor Fitz.
That certainly was a let off for Dromcollogher Broadford. In fact, there was nearly a goal on there because Tommy Stack was going to be forced to come out and top him, leaving his man on the inside.
Yes, Conor Fitz usually familiar with the oval ball. Had a great season there with the under-18s or the under-19s, I think, when he played rugby with Ireland, with a different ball game here in the Gaelic grounds this afternoon. So that's a let-off for Dromcollogher Broadford, as they still hold a slender advantage, 4 points to 3, and John not going as one-sided as people expected here in the Gaelic grounds this afternoon.
Not really, but Dromcollogher Broadford, and if the favourites are all over now, we're in the thick of the battle, and Dromcollogher Broadford knows it.
D. Leary is absolutely having a storming game out there on the centre of the park for Dromcollogher Broadford. Lydon won the first few battles, but D. Leary is well on top. Sean Barrett is it, back there now, it's the captain of the team. Patrick Fitzgerald, the centre back. Up there now towards John Lydon. D. Leary is off him this time. The ball break inside to Clancy. He'll want to make sure this one, and he does. Great play from Clancy. Finds Conway to McLaughlin, and Dromcollogher Broadford walked the ball up the field. McLaughlin with a long ball in there now towards Micheál Reedy, being closely attended to there by Carl Lenihan, and Carl Lenihan pushing Micheál Reedy into the back, and it's going to be a free to Dromcollogher Broadford. And I think the referee there could be a blood substitution there for Newcastle West, as John Lydon looks as though he has picked up a facial injury, and he won't be left on the field of play while there's blood streaming from his head. So Newcastle West have to make a blood substitution as John Lydon, a gentle giant is John. I've known John for years through the soccer, and a fantastic player at both soccer, and he's picked up a bad injury there to the head. It's going to need a stitch or two, I'd say, as Newcastle West come in there with Garrett Noonan, and Dromcollogher Broadford lead by 5 points to 3, as Conor Whelan now comes on for Newcastle West as a blood substitution for John Lydon. And John, that's two good frees from Garrett Noonan.
Oh, two excellent frees from Garrett Noonan, very well taken.
Dromcollogher Broadford 5, Newcastle West 3. 25 minutes gone in the first half, 5 minutes or 6 minutes to go to half time. Not much injury time. Dermot Scollard roaring out instructions there to his centre back and his full back, making sure that they're on their toes. And still, it's very hard to see who the breeze is favouring. It's blowing across the field, I'd say again at the moment. Donnelly calls for it. Up goes Fitzgerald. He's miles away from it, is Donnelly. Great play from Fitzgerald. He picks the ball up off the ground. No, says the referee. High ball in there now towards Sean Cronin. Pushed in the back there by Clancy. It's a great play there from Clancy yet again, but the ball will break back there to number 14. The number 14 being Pat Fitzgerald is coming out around the field. Sean Cronin being closely tended to by Clancy. Great block by McLaughlin. Alan O'Connor, we haven't seen much of Alan. Taught the hand, McLaughlin. Good ball in, but back there is Michael Boyce, the corner back for Drumcollar Broadford. McLaughlin, Conway's on one of them mazy runs again. He gives it to Stokes. Stokes turns, fists it over there now again towards Shawnee Buckley. Shawnee Buckley on towards his teammate over there, Niall Conway. Buckley is brought to the ground and it's going to be a free to Drumcollar Broadford. Quickly taken by Buckley. In there now towards Jason Stokes. Stokes has got a point from this angle already, but gone into the referee's book. Stokes still gone through and he's pulled to the ground. And John, when is this referee going to book the Newcastle players for consistent fouling?
Well, there's a lot of them, but of course we can't say too much ourselves. We were lucky, I suppose, to have our players are still on the field.
Well, yes, indeed. I suppose Shawnee Buck or Jason Stokes was lucky to be left on. Got a yellow card, so has to watch himself for the rest of the encounter as Mihal Reedy, I think, over at the far side of the field, gets ready to take this free to put his team 6 points to 3 in front, coming up to half-time here in the Gaelic grounds. Thank God the rain has stayed away. Sorry, I must make an error there. It's Patrick Donnelly is taking this free now to get his second point of the afternoon here in the Gaelic grounds. So Donnelly getting ready, steadying himself, looking up, looks at the post, kicks it, and kicks an awful wide. A lot of wides, John, for Drumcollar Broadford. We're just totting him up there, John. Have they 6 or 7 at the moment?
They're 5 at least, and maybe they could have 7.
Yes, John, I'm just thinking that they could have 7 wides. Quick taken out has gone towards Shawnee Buckley. Buckley still going through, and John Jolie's in trouble with his kick-outs.
Yeah, very poor kick-out. You know, he might be a good goalkeeper, but they would want someone to kick out the ball.
Yes, indeed. His kick-outs are not going as far as the other goalkeeper. That's Eamon Scott for Drumcollar Broadford as John Lydon comes back onto the field. And it looks like they said Conor Whelan is coming off. So Drumcollar Broadford at the moment winning the battle now at midfield, winning it everywhere as Donnelly comes through. A shot from Donnelly, and that's another wide from Patrick Donnelly. But definitely, John, after the first 5 or 6 minutes of play, Drumcollar Broadford well on top now at centre field.
Well, maybe it might have even taken a little bit longer, Mike, but well on top now, but we're not putting the game beyond our reach, though.
Yes, indeed, John. The last 3 attacks now have yielded no score, and as every good man knows, that when you have possession, you've got to really turn possession into scores, and they were very scoreable positions for Drumcollar Broadford, but they still hold a lead, a slender lead it may be, of 5 points to 3. And we're very near the half-time interval here in Partnergael in Limerick. The ball goes up there now towards Garrett Noonan. It's fisted there. Will Stokes make it? Stokes has it for Drumcollar Broadford. He's going through. Good interception back there by the centre-back, Patrick Fitzgerald. Donnelly has it for Drumcollar Broadford. He's going through. Fisted side for Lynch. There's danger here, but well intercepted back there again. The Newcastle West backs are really doing well at the moment. Walking away with Alan O'Connor. Back to the man with the bandage on his head, that man being John Lydon up there now towards Fitzgerald. He's standing at about 6'5". Stokes is only a small man beside him. Lydon now with a kick, that's a woeful kick there from John Lydon. It'll break up there now towards Declan Broder, in over the head and breaks there now towards Sean Cronin. Cronin round in Bice, still going through. Sean Cronin off the left hand side of the field. A shot from Cronin, it's one of the scores of the afternoon in the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. A great score there, John, by Sean Cronin of Newcastle West, and now the deficit is Colina 1, as they say.
Yes, you know, it's come back to the game against Monaleen, where we dominated a lot of the game, but ended up at half time only leading by a point.
Yes, indeed, John, and I know we don't take much in, but Maurice McCarthy will tell you that he takes every match very serious. And we remember last year in Abbeyfield in the West Senior Football Championship semi-final, when Newcastle West ran out convincing winners against a very average Drumcollar Broadford team on the night.
Yeah, but the West Championship and the county final are 2 different things, and I'm very pleased that the way Drumcollar Broadford are playing at the moment, only just that they're not getting those scores.
Yes, indeed, John, we're winning the battles on most areas of the field, but we really got to put them into them position into scores as Curtin badges his way through. Stokes is having a great game there around centre forward, around centre field. In there now towards Ray Lynch, being closely tended to by Tony Kelly. Great play from Lynch, back there now towards Declan O'Connor, wearing number 7 on his back. Being closely tended to there now by Shane Kelly of Newcastle West. Great play from Kelly, he's pulled to the ground. The ball back to Micheál Reedy. Micheál Reedy with a shot from Reedy. And that is tail to the left and right. And John, these wides are adding up, but these are wides that are very, very scoreable for Drom Broadford.
Yeah, they should be very scoreable. You know, most of our players have inter-county experience now, and I thought that one may have gone over the bar, but the umpire was nearer to it in my eyesight.
I think the only two, John, I was taught in the team that haven't got county experience at any level would be Dee O'Leary and Ginge.
Yes, I think Dee O'Leary would have played minor football or under 16 football for Limerick, but Ginge, I'd say, would be the only one.
Yes, indeed. Well, there's great talent out there in that Drumconnell Broadford team. Donnelly goes up with Lydon. Donnelly's badging his way through. Great ball in there now towards Stokes. He's got 1 point. Chance for a goal for Buckley. Buckley's got through. Shot for Buckley, and it's gone to the right, John, and it's gone wide. And John, Newcastle West will be going at half-time with renewed spirit and hope, saying that Drom Broadford should be out of sight at half-time, and yet they only lead by a point.
Yes, I think that maybe about 10 wides now is what they might have given away.
I'm sure the management committee down there of Jim Barry, Dennis Law Noonan, and Kevin and Morris McCarthy will not be happy with the forwards, the way they're scoring, because at the start of the game we were beating around midfield, but we were well on top at midfield. We were getting the ball in faster into the full forward line, but not taking our chances at the moment. Lee with the kick out, very bad kick out. Once again, it's only barely going just beyond the, not even going to centre field even. Scholars are going well to centre field, and it's going to be a free now for Drumconnell Broadford, as we are now deep into injury time here in Park Naguel in Limerick, and Drumconnell Broadford could really do with a score now coming up to half time. And John, at the moment it's hard to see what way the wind is blowing and who is it favouring at the moment. Can you see there?
Well, I suppose it's definitely slightly favouring Newcastle, but then again, we've been here at the Munster final, and Limerick had the breeze in the first, played against the breeze in the first half, and when they had it, they didn't play half as well.
Yes, indeed, John. But Newcastle West, who we thought were very vulnerable in their full back line, are hassling in for everything back there. Buckley is there, and Stokes is over there. It's hard to see the stalemate over the far side of the field. John Lydon is there. Stokes has it, I think, back there now towards. That's Stokes now on the ball. Eyesight is bad, John. I need to go to Specsavers, but I know this man, that's the small man. Number 15 is Lynch. Goes through and he picks it off the ground, and it's a free out to Newcastle West. Can Newcastle West in the last attack level it before the half-time whistle? And the referee, Joe Kearney, calls for the ball. It's half-time in Park Naguel in Limerick, and it's 5 points to Drumconnell Broadford, 4 points to Newcastle West, John, and that'll have to be a major improvement, John, in the second half if we're to win back-to-back county titles.
Yes, I suppose I'm quite happy the way Drumconnell Broadford have played in the last 15 minutes of that half. They should have scored a little bit more, a lot of needless wides, but they have been in control of the game, and if they can come out in the second half and adapt that. Since John Lydon got the injury, I think he's not the same man, and Stephen Kelly blew with a lot of wind. He didn't show a whole lot after, because, as I say, he came up against Tom McLaughlin, and Tom has put him in his pocket by now. And of course, we've had a great performance there from Mikey Clancy in the first half in cornerback, and Tommy Stack and Michael Boyes. And I thought maybe that in that half that Drumconnell Broadford, the Ray Lynch and Johnny Buckley and Micheál Reedy would have gone for a goal or two. I'd suspect maybe that they were told not to go for goals. You know, I hope they don't lose their confidence, because confidence is everything, and they should keep pumping away there for their points, because surely they'll come. But we're going for the cup of tea now, and Mike is just brewing it, and God knows we need it.
Yes, indeed, John. We'll see you back for the start of the second half, and let's hope that the management down there can get the forwards on song for the second half. And welcome back to Park Naguel in Limerick for the second half of the 2004 Senior Football County Final between Drumconnell Broadford and Newcastle West. Half-time, Drumconnell Broadford had a very slender lead of 5 points to 4. And John, can you see Newcastle West making a better second half performance and taking this title from Drumconnell Broadford?
To be honest, Mike, I don't. I think that if Drumconnell Broadford, even though they missed all those wides, or scores in the first half, I think that they'll keep pumping away as victory will be theirs at the end of the day. But they should be home and dry by now.
Yes, indeed, John, but they're not, and there's only a point in it, so depending on what the two managers, Ross McCarthy from Drumcolour Broadford and Mike Quilligan of Newcastle West, said to their team, respective teams at half-time, see which one can raise the levels of performance in the second half. And John Lydon has come out for the second half after that serious head injury. So just getting, we've had the tea, but I think it's time for a drop of water now at this stage. Keep us cool for the second half. I have a funny feeling this will go, Drumcolour Broadford, I fancy to take this title, but I said they're going to be made to go to the wire with a very determined and spirited Newcastle West team. The match is underway, a half an hour for both teams to capture the 2004 senior title. Stokes with the ball up there now towards Lynch. Lynch makes a great turn. Lynch is pulled to the ground there, and it's going to be a free to Drumcolour Broadford now to be taken here by Garrett Noonan. It could be Micheál Reedy. Yes, it's been left to Garrett. He's got 2 frees already. This is about 2 points between the teams. It seems like the breeze has died down. I might be wrong, but the flag, just the tricolour, is not blowing very highly. As Garrett Noonan puts the ball straight between the posts, and a good start for Drum Broadford. They now lead by 6 points to 4. And John, I don't think there's been anything other than 2 points between the teams here this afternoon.
Yeah, great score, Ian, and better that Drumcolour Broadford that had scored than Newcastle, because it would really put the jizz into Newcastle if Newcastle had got it. But Lynch won his free very well, and he will break in through for a goal.
Joe Lee with the kick out for Newcastle West. A better kick from Lee in towards the centre of the field. Lydon goes up for it with Stoke, and Donnelly's there. Looks like picked off the ground. Kieran Cutland fouls there, and it's going to be a free to Newcastle West to be taken by John Lydon. Lydon high ball in, then out towards the number 13, Declan Bruder. So it's time for a drop of water, I think. There's things hotting up here in the Gaelic grounds this afternoon. Must say I've been very impressed with Michael Bice and Michael Clancy, the 2 cornerbacks from Drumcolour Broadford. Very impressed too with this big man here from Glenduff in Broadford, Jason Stokes. Ball up there, but it's intercepted by the captain, Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald being tackled there by Reedy. Reedy hand passing it back down. Here comes the man now, Stephen Kelly. Kelly takes a shoulder from Donnelly. Conway, they're letting him go nowhere. He drop kicks it up there now towards Tommy Stack and Declan Bruder. And Stack and... It's not Stack and Bruder, it's Stack and Pat Fitzgerald. And Pat Fitzgerald falls to the ground, but Tommy Stack was being held back there by Fitzgerald. And John, Drumcolour Broadford really have dealt well with Stephen Kelly this afternoon so far anyway.
Very well altogether, and that was a great call by the referee, because I've often seen circumstances like that, and the free would have been given to the Newcastle West.
We get on with the play. Scotland with the kick out over the head of D. O'Leary. And it's gone out over the sideline. It'll be a line ball to Newcastle West. Taken just down below, so high ball in there. Thomas McLaughlin fists that ball out. It's going to be a free to Newcastle West and to Stephen Kelly. Stephen will look inside, inter-county star with Limerick. Got a great goal behind the Killarney in the replay of the Munster final. Leaving this time to John Lydon, but we haven't seen very little of Stephen so far this afternoon. Lydon with a ball over there now towards Shane Kelly and Bruder. Ball break down towards Shane Kelly. The next score has to go to Newcastle. Ball inside there now to this big man. He's gone through Conor Fitz. Fitz with the shot, then Fitz with the score. A great score for Newcastle West there. And Conor Fitzgerald, John. Drumcolour Broadford backs were all over the place, and that could have been a goal.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there among the Drumcolour Broadford defence, and absolutely could have been a goal. He went for the goal, but it just went over the bar.
Coolina won, needed enough fun here, Park Naguel and Limnock. Cuigno made. Agus, Eamon Oscar Adlishan, Kickamock, good deal on the Parker. Jason the Stoke, Agus, Patrick O'Donnelly. D. O'Leary having a fine game out there in the middle of the park for Drumcolour Broadford. Really has curtailed Lydon. Scotland with one of his worst kickouts of the championship so far, and it's gone out over the sideline. And things like that can change the balance of a game, especially in the county senior football final. 6 points to 5, Dromcollogher Broadford lead. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Newcastle West on the attack now again with John Lydon. There's plenty of room out there, it looks like. Could be Declan Bruder. Ball inside, dangerous ball in over the head there. But it's Mikey Clancy going out there now with Sean Cronin, I think it is. Been closely tended now by Kieran Curtin. Cronin and Curtin. Ball fisted inside. Danger here for Broadford. Surely over carrying the ball. Shot. Looks good. That's over the bar. Ton of fun. Your co-score in Limnock. 6 points apiece. John and Newcastle West are on fire at the moment.
A great score for Newcastle West, and they've all to play for now.
Yes, indeed, John. The crowd getting behind Newcastle West. I say everyone in the county will be wishing Newcastle West success, as they've been massive underdogs, and that's the way it usually goes. As we saw last Sunday in the All-Ireland final between Kerry and Mayo, where there was 31 counties shouting for Mayo, and Kerry were shouting for Kerry, and the Kingdom came out on top. So well fancied, a well-prepared Kerry team, and let's see now, can Dromcollogher Broadford regain the initiative around the centre field and get the ball into the full forward line, in towards the centre field. Great fielding there from Donnelly, but Lydon is there, justifying his call up maybe to the Limerick senior football team. That's picked up off the ground by the fullback. The fullback there being Sean Barrett, and Lydon is pulled to the ground, and Sean Barrett has been brought out now to centre back. Ball in there now, it's out of the hands there of the full forward Pat Fitzgerald. Stokes, good intelligent ball to Conway. We're still waiting for his first score. Ball inside towards Micheál Reedy. Great catch by Reedy, but it falls out of his hand, and he's having a tussle there with Carlin and Reedy across the face of the goal. But it's picked up back there by Alan O'Connor, better known as Bella. Was still stalemate down there in the middle of the park. Newcastle West with their tails up at the moment. Good play from Stokes, and Stokes fouls his man, and it's going to be a free to Newcastle West to be taken by Lydon. The number 5 for Newcastle, Damien O'Connell. Ball up then out towards Clancy and Cronin. Ball will break then out towards Michael Boyce. Boyce fists the hand pass to Mikey Clancy. Clancy takes 2 heavy shoulders. Great play from the interior decorator from St. John's Paul's Terrace. Michael Boyce is there, the minor, to the most experienced man in the field there, Jason Stokes. Teacher and Ballincollig back then out towards Thomas McLaughlin. Back then out towards Donnelly, the PE, trying to be a PE teacher in UL in Limerick. Donnelly going through. A ball from Donnelly, but it's bad, but it's broken. To me, how Reedy twists and turns his jersey, pulled from his back, and they're still not free for the man from Tulla. Reedy still going through. Connor Fitz is there, he's pulled to the ground. My co-commentator's not happy there. Micheál Reedy's pulled, dragged. What more does a man have to do to get a free? And the stalemate down below now as Donnelly goes in there. Reedy is there. And John, what did Micheál Reedy have to do to get a free?
Well, after getting the bloody free, I'm afraid it's going to be a throw-in ball now. But certainly he was dragged and pulled, and the referee was too slow altogether in blowing.
We'll get on with the action now. We just had a quick break there as Garrett Noonan. That's a bad free from Garrett, and that's tailed to the right, and it's gone wide. And John, at the moment, the size level is 6 points apiece. It looks like the tide is going with Newcastle West at the moment.
Yeah, it's tit for tat now, and this is the bacon is in the pot, and it's everything to play for.
Another back kick out from Lee. Made 2 good saves, but his kick-outs are atrocious. Newcastle West under fierce pressure because they can't get that ball back around centre field, where his kick-out should be going there towards Lydon and Fitzgerald around centre field. Looks like Alan O'Connor has gone in around full back, and Sean Barrett is coming out around half forward. And it could be the very mentioned Alan O'Connor that got the belt that time. Newcastle West management now coming in to check on Alan. The 8 minutes gone in the second half. The sides are level in Newcastle. Or the sides are level in Limerick, I should say. Newcastle are level as well. Newcastle West coming out of defence. It's Bella. He was playing around full back. Now he's back around the half back line. Bella going through. They want to stop Kelly here, but it's not Kelly. It's the half back. The half back up there now towards John Lydon. He takes a heavy shoulder from McLaughlin. It's a great shoulder from the big towering captain from Knocktoosh. Knocks Lydon off the ball, but the referee can't. He's giving everything to Newcastle West at the moment. So Kelly with this free into space there, in towards the number 15 being Sean Cronin. Cronin with a shot, Cronin with a bad effort, and that's gone to the right and it's gone wide. But John, that very important shoulder there by McLaughlin.
Yeah, Tom McLaughlin is commanding his patch all the time. Is the very same as his dad used to do long ago when he was playing with Moylan. But there are a few of the Dromcollogher Broadford players, looking in from a Dromcollogher Broadford point of view, that are a bit anonymous at the moment, and they'd want to fucking open up their game.
Yes, indeed, John, but let's hope Stokes fists the ball on. But there seems to be a sweeper back down, Patrick Fitzgerald, and Lynch comes out and punches him in the back. It's going to be a free to Newcastle West. Quickly taken there towards Sean Barrett. Sean, who played football with Limerick at minor level. In there now towards Niall Conway. And the number 12 being Shea Lyons. In there now towards Leiden, but well intercepted by Michael Bice. You'd swear the man has been playing all his life, but he loses possession in that case. And surely to God that was a foul, but no, says the referee. And Bice is there again to Stokes, to Conway's there. Stokes has been pushed around the place. Been closely tended to by his colleague from Limerick, Stephen Kelly. High ball in there towards Reedy. Breaking the ball back there. Newcastle come away with it yet again. With Tony Kelly. We're working out there now towards Sean Barrett. Sean Barrett up there now towards the number 5. The number 5 being Damien O'Connell. John Lydon not having the best of second half. Conor Fitz is fouled by Curtin, and it'll be a free to be taken by Sean Barrett, but he'll leave it now to Fitzgerald. And John, you have to say Michael Bice is having a great game for Drom Broadford.
Yeah, the full back line are holding the Dromcollogher Broadford team together.
Oh, high ball in there now towards Clancy and Cronin. It's very near the sideline. Great play from Cronin, and Clancy's deemed to have pushed Cronin into the back. And John, the referee is giving everything to Newcastle.
Well, maybe where we are committing a lot of frees at the moment. We're under pressure.
We're under a lot of pressure, John, but there's a few of them frees now, and they're very soft indeed. So it's going to be, you can't see, it looks like maybe it could be Sean Cronin, the number 15, the corner forward for Newcastle West. Still no changes on either side. Dromcollogher Broadford having the likes of Ben Noonan, Liam Buckley, Maurice O'Connor, PJ Scott, and Dinny, that great servant. To Dromcollogher Broadford down the years, Cronin to put Newcastle West into the lead. That's a fantastic free from Cronin. It's gone straight between the posts, and Newcastle West lead, John, by 7 points to 6.
Yes, a great free, and so we're under real pressure now at the moment.
Is there an upset on the cards, John?
No, I still think Dromcollogher Broadford will pull this off.
I'm the same as you, John. My heart and my head go with my club, Dromcollogher Broadford. I still maintain that there's a goal in Reedy and there's a goal in Lynch. We've seen nothing of Buckley. Kieran Curtin coming off to this side of the field now. He's going to be the... Scholar doesn't find him now. The ball will go out there, in there now towards a great catch from the fiery redhead from Tullaher. Patrick Donnelly up there now towards Lynch. I said there's a goal in Lynch. I said there's a goal in Reedy, and we won't forget the man from Nactouche, Buckley. Lynch, toward the hand, going out around the 21. Back there now towards the two mentioned men, back towards Buckley. Donnelly can kick with the left. Can't kick too good with the right, with a good fist down out to Conway. Is this the point we're looking for from the wonder man from Nactouche? In there now towards Garrett Noonan. He's got 2. Can he get 3? Twisting and turning. To the hand. Pass outside there to Conway. Can this be the one from Conway? It looks good. Then it's gone to the right and it's gone wide. And there's pushing and niggling going off the ball there. You can expect that as tensions are running high. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Newcastle West 7. Dromcollogher Broadford 6. But this is why Newcastle West are very weak with Joe Lee's kickouts. I don't want to be down in Joe all the time. He's made some great saves, but kickouts are nothing compared to the Dromcollogher Broadford custodian, Eamon Scollard. Lee with the kick out. He'll look upside there for Donnelly, goes up with it. The breaks are the ball to Patrick Fitzgerald. Fists it there now towards Lydon. Lydon is having a good second half. And there goes that half back. Damien O'Connell, probably the best man in the field for Newcastle. In there now towards Declan Bruder. Bruder being closely tended to by my boys. Back towards Cronin. Cronin twisting and turning. I mean, Clancy's there. Back to Kelly. The left foot from Kelly, and that's gone to the left and wide. Haven't seen a lot from Stephen Kelly, John. Seen no runs, seen no scores, seen nothing from the man.
Not really, but the rest of his teammates are really putting up to Drom Broadford. I wonder, Mike, would Dromcollogher Broadford, would it be as well off if they picked up that free man there in between that's playing in front of me, Reedy and Ray Lynch?
Yeah, well, I see Sean is splitting between the two of them now at the moment, so we'll just see how it goes, because it's Patrick Fitzgerald who's winning a lot of ball there, as John Lydon with a kick in there now. It's inside, the ball will break out there now towards the far Bjorg. I call him the small little man from Dromcollogher, Declan O'Connor. Declan going for his third title this afternoon in the Gaelic grounds, as is 95% or 98% I should say of the Dromcollogher Broadford team. And Michael Boyce coming out. He's had a very steady game, very sturdy game. A corner back. Boyce going up the field. He's headed towards centre field. Great ball in towards Lynch. Brilliant ball, but the ball's fisted away. Breaks towards Buckley. Buckley's fouled. And it's going to be a free in to Dromcollogher Broadford. It looks like a free after the ball has landed, and it looks like maybe that could be Declan Bruder is going into the referee's notebook. It will be a yellow card for Declan. As Shane Kelly and Jason Stokes, I'm sure they know each other for a long time, so this to level the sides in Park McGuane and Limrock. Garrett Noonan, this is his third or fourth. We'll get it for the co-commentator here in a minute. John Neenan, he'll have all the statistics at the end of the day. As Garrett Noonan gets ready to take this free from Dromcollogher Broadford. Garrett steadying himself, he's put 3, this could be 4, but Garrett has put it to the left and he's put it wide. John, Dromcollogher Broadford should be had 3 county finals won at this stage.
They should indeed. The chances they've missed and the wides that they have put over have been something unreal.
Again, Joe Lee's kick-outs are causing an awful lot of damage there to their full back line, and their half back line didn't go outside the 21-yard line, I think. Maybe there's a rule that states that. So in goes Stokes, in goes Fitzgerald, the rugby player against the footballer, and the footballer will always win those battles. Shot for Ready! The sides are level in Newcastle, 7 points apiece. And yet again, Joe Lee's kick-outs are causing awful problems, John, for Newcastle West.
Yes, but surprisingly, it's after taking me already 45 minutes to score, get his first score today.
I think John, maybe got a point in the first half. I know I could be wrong. Maybe from a free. But we'll know that after the match is over. I don't want to go against you, John, because your statistics are fairly A1. But Joe Lee has really caused maybe 2 scores there for kicking out short balls instead of giving the ball out long there towards Sean Barrett there and Lydon and Fitzgerald, but electing to kick the short ball, throw ball, gathered by Stokes and straight between the posts by Micheál Reedy. Halfway through, coming up to halfway through the second 16 minutes remaining here in Park McGuane in Limrock. Now that's a better kick from Lee out towards the centre of the field, but Stokes is there on his own now. Can the fitness of Drom Broadford tell? Can the experience tell from the county champions of 2003? Ball in there now towards Lynch. I said there's a goal in Lynch, and I'm sure he's going to get one before the match is over. He twists and turns, he's gone inside around the inline. Inside, and it's going to be is it gone wide or is it a free out? It could be gone wide there. It's going to be another kick out to Newcastle West, and Joe Lee with those years behind him, and maybe the legs now are getting tired from all the kicking out. He's had a lot of kick-outs to do in this county final. Sides are level. I don't have the statistics of when we had a draw in a county senior football final, but I'm sure man Keaveney there just around the corner would know. As the ball breaks towards the centre of the field, Fitzgerald breaks it down yet again. In and out towards Fitzgerald. He's got loads of room. He's heading towards the 21. He's still going. He's a big man. He's a bald man. He's going through and he's lost the ball to McLaughlin. Very bad play there from Fitzgerald. There was a score on. Used to the rugby, used to the running, not used to the soldiering and the hand passing. Ball from Curtin up there now towards Reedy and Carl Linehan. Great play from Linehan. Reedy is there. It's gone out over the sideline. It's a line ball to Drom Broadford. Quickly taken by Micheál. Stokes has gone inside in the run. Great ball into Stokes. 21, 14. Go! What a ball from Micheál Reedy. Into the big man from Glenduff, and a fantastic tackle. It could have been Stephen Kelly, it could have been Barrett. Couldn't see John, but what a chance for Stokes.
He just was going to, that little bit of a nudge, he was going to stick it in the net. He had dreams about it.
Indeed, John. You could see the bonfires being lit in Glenduff, and he took that ball in his stride, but he just gone to the right and wide. Who has the greater battle? Who has the greater nerve? The questions will be answered in 15 minutes. Where will the 2004 county senior title end? Will it end in Coshlan Noah? Or will it end in Drumcorquilla Bellanaha? We'll see in the next 15 minutes. Stokes, can he amend for that miss? Ball in, high ball in towards Linehan and Reedy. Ball back to Lynch. Lynch has it. Twist to over his head. Shot from Lynch. Looks good, but gone to the left and it's gone wide. Oh my God, John, the hat is, will it hold up?
They have 13 or 14 wides now.
An awful lot of wides, John, in very scoreable positions. No substitutes coming on either side. I don't see anyone warming up for Drom Broadford. No one warming up for Newcastle. Still, we haven't seen Kelly. He's not kicked the ball so far in this county senior football final. But don't let me tempt fate, because you know they call it a commentator's curse, and all it takes is one run from that genius of a man. And it's going to be a free here to Dromcollogher Broadford. Maybe the advantage should have been played, but a chance now for Garrett Noonan to put this between the posts and give Dromcollogher a lead.
Thank you.
11 minutes remaining in Park Naguel in Limrock. Tanafonia are co-score. The sides are level. Garrett Noonan has an opportunity again to put Dromcollogher Broadford back in the lead. Noonan steps up. It looks good. That's straight between the posts. And Dromcollogher Broadford lead on a scoreline of 8 points to 7. Let's hope now, John, that we can take it on from there.
Yes, that was a very scoreable chance. Was really in front of the goals, and he had to put that over.
They all have to be put over, John, but there's a lot of pressure out there in Garrett, because the Dromcollogher Broadford forwards are not playing as a team, not playing as a unit, finding it very hard to get scores in a very low scoring encounter here in Limerick. Joe Lee, better kick out from the 21, up there towards the big man Lydon. He hails from Knockaderry, plays his football with Newcastle. Ball in there towards Clancy, good play there from Clancy. The ball could have been tricky, could have bounced in over his head. Clancy still going through. Back there now towards Stephen Kelly. Nearly had it, but Ginge has it. Back to, we call him Captain Fantastic, Mr. McLaughlin. Ball up there now towards Shawnee Buckley. Shawnee shoulders his man off the ball, and John, we haven't seen much of Shawnee at all in the second half.
Yes, I have been a bit disappointed with Shawnee today. Other days he has served Dromcollogher Broadford well. It's not really his day today.
John's telling me there's 10 minutes remaining. A point between the teams. I suppose in the last 5 years it's been the most exciting county final I've ever commentated on. It's going to go down to the wire. Credit Newcastle West, credit Drom Broadford for a fantastic game of football in very tricky conditions. Ball that out towards Cronin. He's got some fantastic points. Cronin's still going through. He's scoring right, scoring left. Shot from Cronin. It's over the bar, and the sides are level yet again in Limerick. John, you've got to credit Newcastle. They were written off as no-hopers. They've come down here and they've really put the gauntlet up to that Dromcollogher Broadford team.
That's certainly very true, Mike. They have partaken in a great game of football with Dromcollogher Broadford, and you know, it's hard for any of us to call it just now at this stage.
Let's hope the hat and the head rules for Dromcollogher Broadford and Moss McCarthy and his fellow selectors over there. I'm sure Moss never took Newcastle West for granted. He knew what they were capable of, but he's this team prepared magnificently here for this county final. Can Newcastle West win it for the first time in 12 years? Is this Stephen Kelly? It is indeed. He's going through. Still Kelly. Shot from Kelly. It's tailing, but it's going to be kept in. Back there's boys, but well held back there. Back towards Cronin once again. Is it Cronin going through? Stalemate down below us. Is picked up by Boyce. Boyce loses it, but picked up by D. O'Leary. Leary up here now towards Buckley. We need a good last 5-6 minutes from Buckley. Buckley, he's going past centre field. He's still going through. He's been closely tended to by Damien O'Connell, who's had a great game for Newcastle. Buckley's shot is brilliantly blocked out there by the full-back Sean Barrett, and Newcastle West really have their tails up now at the moment. It looks like Niall Comer's going to go into the referee's book. We need, John, big performances from big players now in the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Yes, indeed. Niall Conway hit fairly hard there. Looked legitimate enough to me, but we got when he did he hit hard.
So Newcastle West are calling for a doctor to come onto the field. Looks like there could be a serious injury there to Sean Barrett. I just wanted to say there, John, one point. If Stephen Kelly was informed, Drom Broadford would be in serious trouble.
Well, Stephen Kelly may very well be informed, but he's being well marshalled.
Yes, indeed.
You know, Dromcollogher Broadford would be winning this game real handy if all these wides hadn't been conceded. Like we're talking about it all the time.
Well, John, that's our job really, is to talk about wides and scores and great scores and bad scores, but 14 wides, and I'd say out of them 14 wides there was definitely 8 or 9 of them in very scoreable position with no men marking them and right in front of the goals. But these things happen. It's very easy for a commentator to say that we're not down there on the pitch. A lot of pressure on there, John.
Yes, and of course I see that article that Eamon Scholar wrote in the programme today. As the man says, he doesn't seem to have a whole lot of time for being in the ditch.
Oh, gee, we better watch ourselves after, so, John. We'll keep out of his way. So there's a break in play now. This will add maybe 2 or 3 minutes injury time, and this is where the game can be won and lost now in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Is Kelly going to shine for Newcastle? Is Stokes and Reedy going to shine for Drom Broadford? These are the questions that we're going to have answered in a little over 7 minutes time. And it doesn't look good there, John, for Sean Barr. I think this Sean Barr is down the ground there for Newcastle.
Yes, he got a little bit of a sandwich, and the tackles are going in, so they have no at the moment. If we could get a good 10 minutes now from Pat Donnelly and Sean Buckley to the Pat has been a bit out of the game here now in the second half as well. And if we got a good 10 minutes from them, I'm sure that Drom Broadford would be on the way to winning this game. But of course we haven't spoken about a draw. I think a draw would suit Drom Broadford. I think they're the better team, but whether they'll put it on the scoreboard will be another thing.
Yes, indeed, John. It'll be interesting to see now as we take a break for just a minute or two while the attention to Sean Barrett is taking place.
But there will certainly be about 3 minutes or maybe more injury time. There seems to be a blood injury, and they're availing of their time to bandage him up. Back on his feet. 4 minutes.
4 minutes plus injury time remaining here in Portnaguel in Limnock. Must say, splendid looking Gaelic grounds now at the moment. Ball in there now. Gathered by Thomas McLaughlin towards Declan O'Connor. Checked after that injury he got in the first few minutes of the first half. McLaughlin look inside for Reedy. He look inside for Lynch. Ball into Lynch. Well handled by Lynch. Back towards Buckley. Buckley is fouled, and now a scoring chance for Garrett Noonan and Drom Broadford. Let's pray that Garrett can put this straight between the posts and give Drom Broadford a lead coming up to full time. Sure, there's going to be 4 or 5 minutes added on for injuries. As the rain still stays away, very dark, very cloudy here in Portnaguel, but Garrett Noonan won't mind if it's cloudy or if it's dark. If this goes straight between the posts. Shot from Garrett, that's straight between the posts, and Drom Broadford leads yet again. 9 points to 8, and John, his free taking has kept Drom Broadford in this match this afternoon.
Yes, I estimate he has 6 points scored for them from frees.
Possibly another man of the match performance from Garrett Noonan. I can't see anyone out there that could take it from him at the moment. Maybe the number 5 from Newcastle, Damien O'Connell, has had a great game. Lydon has had a good game for Newcastle. Kick out from Lean towards the centre of the field. Up goes Leary, up goes Lydon. Lydon wins the break again. Up there now towards O'Connell, is brought down, fouled around the neck by Dee O'Leary. Dee has to turn around and give his number to the referee, the number being Ivora Hucht. Will it end in a draw? Lydon, will he find Stephen Kelly? The ball in that towards Michael Boyce. Great play from Boyce, well fisted from Boyce. And it's gone out over the sideline. Kieran Cutton catches the flag, he throws it out over the sideline. Anxious to win his second county title with Drom Broadford. A teacher went done his education in Mary I with Stokes and Stack. Has a bad free there from Lydon, and out comes Thomas McLaughlin. Is he going to get the cup for the 3rd time? In there now towards Sean Barrett. He's got a bandage around the head just like Lydon had. Barrett is still going through. Hand passes it in over the head. Newcastle West on the attack again. Where is Stephen Kelly? He's out around centre field. I'm sure Boris McCarthy, he has it now though. Here he goes, the wonder kid with the left peg, and he's fouled. And that's a stupid thing there from Ginger. I'd say it was Ginger again, John, that done that. Mountain to the ref, and now that's a scoring position for Newcastle.
Yes, our discipline has been very poor today.
I don't want to be cutting down Declan, but I could have been Declan. Declan, I'm up for to be corrected on that one. But someone said something to the referee, and John, are we heading for full time? Are we heading for a draw?
We're on 29 minutes now, Mike.
1 minute remaining. Sean Cronin, who has had a great game for Newcastle West, scored some fantastic points off his right and his left leg. So Cronin steps up, makes no mistake. He puts it straight between the posts, and the sides are level. We're going into injury time. How much injury time, John, do you think we've left?
Well, there's 1 minute to play left, and I suppose there's surely 4 minutes injury time.
Drom Gallagher, Broadford, 9 points. Newcastle West, 9 points. Can Scotland find Kieran Curtin out around the centre of the field? There's 2 loose men for Drom, 1 loose man for Drom Broadford. There's 1 loose man for Newcastle West. Kieran Curtin being the man for Drom Broadford, and I think he's coming off the field as Ben Noonan's coming onto the field. Kieran Curtin leaves the action. Fitzgerald is the loose man. Noonan is the loose man. Aiming to look for Ben Noonan. There's no one within 40 yards of him. Being spotted now by Declan Bruder out around the half-forward line. Sean Cronin is out there yet again. Ball out towards the centre of the field. Up they go. Ball breaks the ballot. Is it for Newcastle West? As McLaughlin gives it all. Blood, guts, everything. Great play again from Stack. He's had a great game. Tommy Stack. Ball to McLaughlin. Is it going to end in the draw? Can Drom Broadford win it? McLaughlin. He's still going through. Great play from McLaughlin. Kicks the ball up there. Great ball, but it's gone out over the sideline. And it's going to be a free. Great play there from Stephen Kelly. I must say his defensive work has been good for Newcastle West, but going forward, he hasn't seen much, John. Are we going for a replay, John?
Well, it's all in the referee's hands, though, I suppose.
Ball kick back there now towards Billy Lee. Billy, toe to hand. Can he win his third senior medal? Don't know the age you are, Billy or Joe, but I think someone said that you could be around 39 or 40. Newcastle West coming out of it. There with O'Connell. Back there out towards Fitzgerald, the rugby player. I keep calling the rugby player. Up there now towards Cronin and Boyce. Great play from Boyce. He's in line, John, for man of the match. He's with a foot wrong. What a player.
Oh, Mickey Clancy and Michael Boyce, they have had some performances today.
Fantastic player. Michael Boyce at 17 years of age has played his heart out for Drom Gallagher Broadford. It's at the discretion of the referee, Joe Kearney from Mungret. How long is left? He's going off to consult his linesman. His linesman is the man from Askeaton, Matty. What's his second name, John? Don't know him. Is there a substitute coming on for Drom Gallagher Broadford? There won't be no one coming on a while. McLaughlin, can this be the score? End over the head. Yes, it's here. Off. Newcastle's still there. Free out is it? No, says the referee. Still stalemate there. Picked off the ground. Buckley's there. Donnelly's there. Where's it going to go? It's a throw ball. It's a throw ball. It could have gone anywhere. Joe Kearney, the referee. Deep into injury time, John.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
A fair result of the referee blew the whistle.
Yes, indeed, John. As I said, we don't know when there was a draw last, but credit Drom Broadford for a great game, but God, credit Newcastle West. They were given no chance and they put up a fierce battle. So the substitute going on in the Newcastle West team, it looks like. Conor Whelan is going on for Newcastle West. Is it Sean Cronin that's coming off the field? I can't see, but we'll get on with the play. Is it a free to Drom Broadford? Is it a throw ball? We don't know. I think it's a throw ball. And there's an injury down there to one of the Newcastle West players, and John, I think he should blow it up because both teams don't deserve to lose it.
No, it should be a travesty now to any of the two teams. It has been a marvellous display, and we, as in our time of doing county finals, it has been the best to date.
Yes, indeed, John. It's a throw ball. Up goes Stokes. It's all over, John. The referee has called it up. 2 minutes into injury time, and the sides have finished level. I presume the referee, Joe Kenny, wanted another day out. And it's finished level in the Gaelic grounds. Drom Gallagher Broadford 9, Newcastle West 9 points. And John, an entertaining, very tremendous game of football.
A delightful game of football, Mike. Most enjoyable. We're most relieved. Definitely, it would have been unfair to Drom Gallagher Broadford to lose that game, and it would really have been unfair to Newcastle West as well. We'll feel going back, I suppose, to Drom Gallagher Broadford this evening that this game slipped us by. That we had it, and we would be fairly confident again facing in for the final. Hopefully, it will be here in the Gaelic grounds, maybe in a fortnight's time. I think the county hurling finals are next week. Maybe they'll run the two of them together. I don't know, but going down through the team, Emil Scholar didn't put a foot astray. Played very well. Of course, again, as a man, I must say, but he don't regard the hurlers in the ditch so highly according to the programme. But we'll give him good praise for it. He merits it. Michael Clancy, a fantastic performance. Tommy Stack, flawless performance, and Michael Boyce, mighty performances. Neil Conway played very well. Tom McLaughlin Shane Kelly was an anonymous, really. All the we were afraid of him all the time, but Tom snuffed him out, really. Kelly did some excellent defensive work, I suppose. Declan O'Connor played mighty well, but he'll have to cut out his indiscretions. Jason Stokes into the field again, a great performance, but had an indiscretion there as well, and was very lucky that he didn't get a red card. Dio Laria, great performance, really up against it. The Newcastle midfield won their own share of the ball, as while the Drumcolour midfield won as well. And up front, Patrick Donnelly opened well, but I was a bit disappointed in his second half performance. Maybe get a knock or something. And Shawnee Buckley, I think Shawnee will have better days. Shawnee played an excellent game in the semi-final against Moline, as did Patrick Donnelly, which didn't really come to life today. So we'll be hoping for a lot in the semi-final. In the replay. Garrett Noonan, sure. What can we say about Garrett? Garrett has scored, according to me, he scored 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 5 from frees and 1 from play. And the full forward line, a bit disappointed. Me already 1 point, and Ray Lynch, while Ray was very prominent. Ray short for a lot of the ball and won a lot of the ball. Kieran Curtin. Kieran had probably his best game to date, but whether the tactics of the Drumcolour Broadford and Newcastle had, whether they were conducive to the right result, I don't know. I figure that the Newcastle free man in the defence cut off an awful lot of ball from Lynch and Reedy. As you look into the Newcastle team, I mean, Jolie surprised us, and Jody surprised us and played very well in the goals, although his kickouts were definitely a factor, and so did Drumcolour Broadford. In the other hand, Eamon Scott had a great kickout. Sean Barrett had a great game at full-back, and Patrick Fitzgerald centre-back. John Lydon and Conor Fitzgerald in the field. They contributed an awful lot, and you had Sean Cronin in the corner forward. He scored 5 points. But 2 of them were from frees as well. So as usual, we usually at a county final we name the Drumcolour Broadford man of the match, and this is rather difficult. I suppose I'd bring it down to Mikey Clancy and Mike Boyce, the 2 cornerbacks, anyway, and Tommy Stack. They had fantastic games. Jason Stokes had a fantastic game there in the centre of the field, really, when he stood up when he was wanted, and. Garrett Noonan scored 6 points. He really it was a man of the match performance. He kept the Drumcolour Broadford team in it, there was no doubt. But I'll go for the man that maybe that don't often get too many man of the match awards. He played a challenge match recently, and I heard he was a disaster. Maybe he had like some of the players today, maybe he had enough there. But I award him the man of the match, the number 2, Micheál Mac Flanagan, Michael Clancy. I don't know whether you agree with that or not, Mike.
Yes, John, I suppose we kind of said it there during the match, that to be down between 3 players, possibly Mike Boyce, Mikey Clancy and Garrett Noonan. Garrett kept from Broadford ticking over there with his frees, but I suppose when push came to shove, Clancy had a great game of cornerback. I think he made one slip in the whole match where he got caught, but he had a great performance. But even though he'd be a first cousin, I might just shade Mike Boyce with it, because it'd been his first, the reason being it'd been his first county final at senior level, and he showed maturity of a 25 or a 26-year-old. But I mean, it was definitely a great performance by Drumcolour Broadford. I mean, it is very hard. I suppose Newcastle West had nothing to lose by going out today. They were underdogs, they had to play, but Drum Broadford had to really up the tempo, which they did to a certain degree. But we know, John, when the game was with Twadden last, but it was drawn, I suppose that at half time Drum Broadford should have been in the Munster Championship.
That's right, and just talking about the Munster Championship, whether it be Newcastle West or Drumcolour Broadford, or to go through, I'd say another tilt to the replay. We'll do the winners no harm in the world, possibly all the good. I suppose, no, Mike, from a Well, we were going to say it would have been a windy, rainy day according to the Mitman, but even though the conditions are a bit greasy on the ground, a beautiful Gaelic grounds, Mike, and the pitch was in impeccable condition except for the greasy foot.
Oh, it was indeed, John. It took 2 matches as well. You know, it's a fantastic stadium. It is one of the best now in the country at the moment. But we look forward, John, to the replay, possibly in the Gaelic grounds in two weeks' time, maybe. And we'll be back again here in the gantry. And let's hope that Dromcollor Broadford can add to it. I think Newcastle West might have had their day. You know, you don't get a second chance. They're not just champions from Broadford, they're great champions, and they've proved that, like, as I said, they're the kingpins of football for the last 5 years. And but you never know, if Stephen Kelly has a better game going forward, you know, it could be a good, better game. But my heart and my head will say Drom Broadford, John. So from the Gaelic grounds, we'll leave you on the final score of 9 points apiece, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.